managing organisation behaviour. So this is Module B. We're going to look at empowerment, learning and development, and this is covered in Chapters 6 and 7. So the learning objectives. We discuss the job characteristics model. We discuss empowerment and associated processes. We explain the relevance of goal-setting theory to job design, motivation and performance. We outline the 4 general approaches to learning and discuss concepts of the learning organisation and teaching organisation. So the job characteristics model. So obviously this talks about job enrichment. Job enrichment is actually quite vital as it makes the job more enriching, so more exciting. Therefore the employer feels more motivated to undertake their tasks, and this is what the table outlines. So the concept of empowerment, generally explained in terms of allowing employees greater freedom, autonomy and self-control over their work and responsibility for decision-making. So skill of empowerment and delegation. Delegation is the process of entrusting authority and responsibility to others. The key to empowerment is effective delegation, giving individual contributors ownership of tangible results. So the manager-subordinate relationship. There's authority, responsibility and accountability. Authority, the right to take action or make decisions that the manager would otherwise have done. Responsibility, an obligation by the subordinate to perform certain duties or make certain decisions. Final one, accountability, which is the ultimate responsibility which cannot be delegated. So this is the basic elements of delegation. There's the manager's superior, the manager and the subordinate as well. Delegating is about giving certain tasks and responsibilities to other staff members so they can undertake the tasks themselves. So reasons for lack of delegation. Managers may fear that the subordinate is not capable of doing a sufficient job or of being blamed for subordinates' mistakes. Managers may fear that the subordinate will do too good of a job. Managers may hold certain assumptions about human nature and behaviour. Then we move on to trust and empowerment. Managers must learn to accept their dependence upon people. A key part of being a good manager is managing that dependence. Managers who say that they cannot delegate because they have poor staff may genuinely be unfortunate in the calibre of staff that they have inherited or been given. More often this view is a criticism of themselves, according to Stewart. So systematic approach to empowerment and delegation. 5 questions to ask before delegating. How can I make better use of my time? What tasks could be performed better by others? What opportunities are there for learning and development through delegation? How and to whom should the responsibility be given? What forms of monitoring and control would be most appropriate? So obviously now we have the main stages in the process of delegation. And this is something you can actually refer to and do extra research on about the importance of delegating to employees and what benefits the organisation does get out of it. So then we have the goal-setting theory according to LAYG. Obviously, as you can see here, is outline the process of what it takes to set goals within the organisation. So you have values, emotions and desires, goals or intentions, responses or actions, work behaviour and performance, and consequence, and obviously the feedback process, which is quite essential. So implications of the goal-setting theory. Practical implications for the manager or goal-setting theory include the need for systematic identification of specific performance goals, the need for goals to be challenging, the importance of complete, accurate and timely feedback on results, the need for goals to be determined either by a superior or by the individual themselves. So the importance and significance of learning. Learning can be defined as the acquisition of knowledge that leads to a relatively permanent change in behaviour. It can be deliberate or unintentional. It can result in new behaviours or understanding. Individuals differ in their learning capabilities and styles. Lifelong learning will be essential for people to cope with the changing working environment. So then we have here the factors influencing the learning process. So there's external factors and internal processes. Both have an equal amount of influence on the learning process of individuals within the workplace. So a declaration on learning. 1999 Declaration on the Importance of Learning for the 21st Century. It was published through a Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development special series in People Management magazine. Learning is of critical importance to individuals, organisations and society. Declaration on learning benefits for individuals. So learn. The key to developing a person's potential to learn is the key to effective learning. Enables the individual to meet the demands of change. The capacity to learn is an asset that never becomes obsolete. Embracing learning helps the individual to acknowledge that learning is more than formal education and training. So continuing on, learning increases everyone's capacity to contribute, enables the organisation to be more effective, emancipates the organisation through clarification of purpose, vision, values and behaviour, produces a wider range of solutions to organisational issues, and helps to achieve a better balance. So then we have declarations on learning benefits for society. A society survives and thrives through learning. A focus on capturing and sharing learning contributes to a more cohesive society. Individual and collective learning reinforces the informed, conscious and discriminating choices that underpin our democracy. Learning helps to enhance the capacity of individuals. How people learn: two schools, the cognitivists and the behaviourists. In one school, it's the learning cycle according to Kolb. There's action learning. There's learning styles according to Honey and Mumford. And the behaviourist. There's classical conditioning. There's operant conditioning according to Skinner. And then there's social learning according to Miller and Dollard. Then we have classical conditioning according to Pavlov. And this is something that's important for you to keep in mind and do extra research about what the experiment involved and what the outcome was and what led to what we call classical conditioning. So then we have operant conditioning according to Skinner. The rewards were given after a desired response occurred. Punishment or negative reinforcement was given after an undesired response, and animals learnt which responses elicited the reward or punishment. An intermittent positive reinforcement produced the most durable results. The process is known as shaping behaviour. And then we have operant conditioning in working situations. There's reward, punishment and shaping. So reward, it's important to ask ourselves, what constitutes a reward? In punishment, what constitutes a punishment? In shaping, behaviour modifications to suit organisational culture. Then we have social learning according to Miller and Dollard. It's modelling as a form of learning. People learn by watching others. In organisational terms, it highlights the importance of suitable role models, can help instill suitable standards of dress, behaviour, etc. So now we have a model of Kolb's learning cycle, and this is something for you to keep in mind. Keep in mind all the steps that are involved and how it actually contributed to the concept of learning. Cognitism, action learning. So the purpose, not just to describe, understand and explain the world, but to change it. Action learning sets, small groups of people who all wish to develop themselves through tackling live issues. And what action learning sets to do? Provides opportunities for each individual to report in turn on their actions and reflect on the progress they have actually made. So Honey and Mumford's learning styles. There's the activist, the reflector, the theorist and the pragmatist. So for example, the activist, they ask, what's new? I'm game for anything. Or you might even go down to the pragmatist. How can I apply this in practice? The theorist, how does this relate to that? E-learning is a development from computer-based training and comprises self-contained learning materials and resources that can be used at the pace and convenience of the learner. An e-learning package normally incorporates some for test, which can demonstrate how much an e-learner has assimilated from a course. So knowledge management, a range of practices or processes to identify, create, distribute and share knowledge throughout the organisation. The one sure source of lasting competitive advantage is knowledge. Explicit and tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge, knowledge that is easily communicated, quantified and systematic. Tacit knowledge, knowledge and wisdom that is not easily communicated or quantified but is gained through things like experience and communicated on an informal basis. Tacit knowledge is converted into explicit knowledge by articulation. So why knowledge management is important according to Kerr? Business pressure and innovation, inter-organisational enterprises, networked organisations and the need to coordinate geographically dispersed groups, increasingly complex products and services, hyper-competitive marketplaces, digitisation of business environments, concerns about the loss of knowledge due to increasing staff mobility, attrition and retirements. So talent management, the selection, development, engagement and retention of individuals who are seen to be particular value of the organisation. Linked to the human capital approach, where valuable individuals are seen as assets to be invested in through training and development. and the needs to be aligned to the direction of the organisation. Talented people are seen as corporate resources. So creativity. Creativity is the application of imaginative thought which results in innovative solutions to many problems. Actively creative people have a talent for getting to the heart of the problem. They are not confused by detail and by the need to involve standard approaches according to Goodman. So blocks to creativity according to Goodman. Aspects of individual psyche and skills, which are perceptual, emotional, process and communication. And then we have aspects of organisational culture, environmental and cultural, of course. Then mentoring and coaching. Mentoring aims to facilitate individual capability. Mentors offer guidance. They focus on long-term development. And a mentor is not usually the line manager, and they're an expert or an organisational leader. So coaching, a supportive relationship aimed at developing individual self-awareness. It focuses on knowledge and skills relating to tasks and has an emphasis on performance. The coach is often a line manager. So conclusion, application of learning theory to organisations. There's self-development, development of others, and development of learning culture. So self-development, learning what to do, learning how to do, learning the ropes. And then number 2, personal development, planned learning needs, and policy development. Thank you very much.